What's up, everybody? My name is Ryan Krause, and welcome to the Crucible Coachworks YouTube channel. Today's the big day. We have the bumpers both glassed in here. We're gonna be popping them off and see what happens. So. This is the side that we did last time, the last video we did, and then this is the side I did since. As you can see, it's a little bit cleaner because I've changed my technique and how I did it. I learned from the last one. I think I mentioned in the last video, I've never done fiberglassing to this scale before, and usually it's repairs or it's like a negative, like the inside of the mold, not the outside of the mold itself. So I was fighting gravity and everything else on this side, and I came up with a better solution for that side. Just so I can explain it a little further, what I did was I've liberally applied the resin on first, and then, you know, laid the cloth down, and then resin on top and smushed it in best I could with the roller. I used a roller this time also, and then the consequential layers after that, I resined and laid full sheets of matting on it instead of just like patching it on like on this side, so it's a lot cleaner. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some holes in this because to explain further what's happening, I'm going to be using these splash molds to replace the clay on this bumper itself. So I'm using this bumper still as a base plug after this. So I'm going to put some holes that screws can go in to help locate this and screw it to the bumper. So then when I take it off, remove the clay, clean it up, and put the splash mold back on to re-glass it, I can just put the screws right back in those holes and it'd be a perfect match. I'm going to be using this black bumper as a plug again because this bumper is actually a Fiberglass Recreation 997 GT3 bumper, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of body work on it to finish it out, make sure it's 100% symmetrical and smooth, and I can do it on the table because then I can make all these flanges and pieces that I couldn't get to on the car because this is literally stuck on the car. All the flanges that go underneath here. This piece is actually probably gonna be separate, but I made it in the mold just so we could have it, but it's gonna be a separate trim piece, I believe. So I gotta make the flange of the piece underneath. I gotta clean up here, the edge, make sure both wheel arches are identical both side to side, which would be really easy to do on a table. And also we gotta make the lip. So I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be separate from the bumper, obviously, but that'll probably be pretty easy to do off the car. So anyway, without any further ado, I'm gonna put my holes in this and then we're gonna start peeling this off and, you know, just cross our fingers, it'll go well. All right, so this is the side that we did first, and it's cured the longest. I'm gonna start on this side. I'm gonna use some wedges here. I have a plastic wedge. I have other ones laying around here too. I also have a splat weld chisel that I think will do well because it's good and firm and it's really thin. And I'm just gonna pry at it and hope for the best. I don't know what's gonna happen here. So let's see what it does. Come on. Hey! Oh, there it is. We got her off, and she is full of clay, so that's gonna be fun to get out. But it is off in one piece, and the detail I did retain that doesn't have clay on it right now is pretty smooth, actually. Like down there. Nice. This is good. This is good. All right. One side down, one to go. All right. That side was rough, but it came off. Took off more clay than I'd like. This side I made much cleaner, so hopefully it goes faster and easier. So let's see what happens. I have a good point here that I can pry right at the edge. There we go. Oh yeah, I pulled right off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that. You can see the brush strokes in it too from the PVA even. Nice. Yes, the PVA is the secret, which isn't a secret because everybody stresses it.
And now we know why.
And now we know why. All right, she's off. Thanks to a little bit of help from Tony there to help peel it off. This one went a lot better, and I believe there's 2 reasons for that. One, I did 2 coats of PVA instead of 1. As you can see, the PVA here is that vinyl that was a good barrier. It's nice and thick. It actually peels in this one. The other one doesn't peel very well. The other reason I think they went well is because when I wedged between, I was able to get pretty well. I was able to get between the PVA and the fiberglass itself, not behind the clay. So it kind of, I once I worked it for a while, I could literally see the bubble traveling across here, and I kind of walked it across and it popped right off. So this one a lot better. This one, a lot of the clay went with the bumper, as you saw, or with the mold rather. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to clean that up, which is no big deal, but time, and time is money, and time is, you know, all these things people say it is. Anyways, here they are. This is the side that went better. The PVA that is still between here, I can literally just peel all the clay off, which is great. So I'm gonna have to peel that off of this one, which shouldn't be too bad. There's not much left on it. This one, on the other hand, has a lot of clay on it. The PVA is water soluble, so I'm gonna look up some things first, but I'm pretty sure I can just dunk this in water, and the water should just eat its way between the clay and the fiberglass and just lift it off. If that's the case, it's gonna make my life a lot easier. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research here before I dig in and start scraping all this out, because it's gonna take a while, and this stuff's messy too. Since it's oil-based clay, it just sticks to everything, and I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah. All right, so I was able to scrape the bulk of the clay off with this putty knife. I had used it for like scraping undercoating and heated it up at one point, so there's a nice curve to it. So it was perfect for digging in here. So what's left is the clay residue, which also has PVA underneath. I could either try to use water to lift it, but I'm afraid that since this clay is oil-based, it'll just displace the water and stick itself back to it. So instead, I think I'm gonna do is heat it up to its melting point and then just wipe it out. And then I can use water at the end to get the PVA off. So I think that's what's the best way to tackle this right now. You guys are watching me learn to do this as I go. So I'm sure someone at home is like, he's doing it all wrong, do it a different way. You can, obviously, I am open to any insights. So if you guys have any recommendations for the future, drop it in the comments, and next time I do this, it'll go easier. But yeah, let's try some heat. Okay, looks like this came out pretty good. There's still some detail cleaning that needs to be done, but I will just do that off video. Why watch me do that, you know? So this mold is cleaned out. This one I haven't touched yet, but it's gonna go super easy, just like that one did, but you know, a billion times faster. After that, I will clean up the edges and everything, and then I'm going to go into the car, and actually let's walk over there right now. I'm going to get all this clay off then, and then I'll be putting the splash molds back on, bracing it, taking the bumper off, and then we're gonna be glassing this bumper to the splash mold, and then we'll have our new plug, which I can do the rest of the body work, finish finish out the rest of the bumper and get it ready for the final mold, which is the big shebang, the really fun part. So thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button, and tell some friends, share it, whatever, you know the drill. Anyway, tune in next week when I hopefully am making the plug. So we'll see what happens. Later, guys.